A million years ago, the earth was untamed, raw, and full of extremes. The landscape stretched out in vast contrasts. Endless golden savannas where tall grasses swayed with the wind, dense forests hiding shadows of danger, and rivers carving lifelines through the wilderness. To early humans, this was not a place of comfort, it was a battlefield of survival. Every sunrise brought both opportunity and threat. Food, water, and shelter were never guaranteed, and the tribe's very existence depended on their ability to adapt. Predators ruled the land with unmatched power. Saber-toothed cats lurked at the edge of the forests, their piercing eyes glowing in the dusk. Packs of giant hyenas scavenged relentlessly, ready to steal a meal from anyone weaker. Mammoths roamed in herds, massive and majestic, yet dangerous if threatened. Even a simple journey to collect water from a stream could turn deadly. Early humans had no strong claws or sharp teeth, instead, they had only their wits, their courage, and the strength of sticking together. Their shelters were temporary, built from branches, leaves, and animal hides stretched across wooden frames. These offered little protection from the cold winds at night or the pouring rains that turned the earth into mud. As darkness fell, fear pressed in from all sides. The sounds of the night, growls, footsteps, and the snapping of twigs, reminded them of how fragile life was. Yet, despite the dangers, the early humans endured. They moved in groups, their unity becoming their shield. Huddled close, they relied on one another's senses, sharp eyes scanning the horizon, ears listening for movement, and instincts guiding every step. At night, the faint glow of a fire, if they were fortunate enough to keep it alive, became more than warmth, it was protection. The fire's crackle scared away predators and gave courage to the tribe, though they always feared the flames would die before dawn. The land tested them every single day, but it also offered rewards. Rivers quenched their thirst, forests gave shelter, and the plains offered chances to hunt or gather. Every stone, every tree, and every sound became part of their world of survival. In this harsh and untamed landscape, early humans learned one unshakable truth: alone they were weak, but together they had a chance to endure. Hunger was the greatest enemy early humans faced. Every morning, the tribe awoke with the same thought: where will we find food today? The search was endless, stretching across dangerous plains and dense forests. For them, survival depended on two things: courage and cooperation. Hunting was both a risk and a necessity. Men and women worked together, shaping stone tools into sharp edges, fastening wooden spears with fire-hardened tips. They stalked wild animals, antelope, wild pigs, or sometimes even the young of mammoths, moving silently, waiting for the right moment. A successful hunt brought celebration, for it meant full bellies and renewed strength. But failure meant hunger, and hunger weakened the tribe. Worse still, a failed hunt could attract predators that followed the scent of blood or the sounds of struggle. Still, hunting was only part of survival. Gathering plants, fruits, and roots filled much of their days. The women, elders, and children searched the land carefully, memorizing which plants were safe and which could poison. Trial and error was their teacher. Bitter berries or strange mushrooms sometimes led to sickness, even death. Over time, knowledge passed from one generation to the next, becoming an invisible map of survival written in memory and tradition. The struggle for food was never ending. Sometimes, after days of searching, their efforts yielded almost nothing. Bellies growled, children cried, and weakness slowed every step. Yet even in those desperate times, they shared what little they had. A handful of nuts or a scrap of roasted meat was divided among all, for they understood that one person's strength alone could not protect the tribe. Survival demanded unity. There were moments of triumph too. A successful hunt would light up the tribe's spirits. They roasted meat over the fire, savoring every bite. Grease glistened on their hands, bones cracked to reach the rich marrow inside. Laughter, rare but precious, echoed through the camp as hunger gave way to relief. These moments became memories that pushed them forward during darker days. Food was never guaranteed, but the search for it shaped their way of life. It taught patience, strategy, and cooperation. The struggle carved resilience into their very being. In a world where nature offered little mercy, early humans learned that every berry picked, every animal hunted, and every meal shared was a victory against the wilderness. Among all the discoveries that shaped early human survival, fire was the most miraculous. In the beginning, they did not know how to create it. Instead, they stumbled upon flames after lightning struck a dry tree, or after a wildfire swept across the plains. The tribe would rush to capture the glowing embers, carrying them carefully with sticks or stones, desperate to keep the spark alive. To lose fire was to lose protection, warmth, and hope. Fire changed everything. At night, when the world was swallowed by darkness and predators roamed freely, the glowing flames became a shield. The crackle of burning wood scared away saber-toothed cats and giant hyenas, creatures that once prowled close to the camp. Around the fire, the tribe felt safer than ever before. Children slept more soundly, and adults could rest with fewer fears of sudden attacks. But fire was not only a weapon against the dark, it was a teacher. When meat was roasted over flames, it softened and became easier to chew. The tribe discovered that cooked food gave them more strength, less sickness, and energy to travel farther. Roasting roots and plants made bitter food sweeter and safer. Slowly, fire began to transform their bodies and their lives. The flames also gave warmth during the bitter cold of nights and icy winds of changing seasons. Wrapped in animal hides, families pressed closer to the glowing fire, feeling life flow back into their frozen fingers and toes. It was no longer only survival, it was comfort, however small. Most importantly, fire sparked something beyond survival: connection. At night, with the hunt finished and the day's struggles behind them, the tribe gathered around the flames. They pointed to the stars, grunted, gestured, and slowly began shaping sounds that carried meaning. Early language was born beside the fire. They shared warnings of dangers, memories of hunts, and even stories of spirits and dreams. Fire did more than keep them alive, it gave them identity, unity, and imagination. Over time, they learned to create fire themselves by striking stones or rubbing wood. This mastery was like holding lightning in their hands. It was power, and it changed the balance between humans and nature. With fire, they were no longer just prey in a harsh world, they had a tool that made them stronger, braver, and more human. Despite the unforgiving world around them, early humans endured because of their ability to adapt. Unlike the beasts that relied on strength or speed, humans survived by thinking, learning, and working together. Each discovery, no matter how small, became a stepping stone in their journey. They crafted tools from stone, bone, and wood, simple at first, but powerful in purpose. A sharpened rock could cut through hide, carve wood, or shape other tools. Over time, they improved their weapons, attaching stone blades to wooden shafts to create spears. With these, hunting grew safer and more effective, giving them greater chances to bring down prey. Every broken stone, every splintered spear was a lesson, teaching them how to shape the world to their will. Clothing also became a key to survival. Using animal skins from their hunts, they fashioned crude garments that shielded them from the cold winds and harsh rains. Sewing did not yet exist, but hides tied with strips of leather gave warmth and protection. For the first time, they were not entirely at the mercy of the elements. Shelter, too, evolved. Instead of fragile huts of leaves, they began building sturdier structures from branches, stones, and animal bones. These shelters, though simple, gave them security during storms and a place to gather as a tribe. Knowledge became their greatest inheritance. Elders passed down the secrets of survival: where to find safe plants, how to track animals, how to spark fire from stone. Lessons were shared through gestures, sounds, and emerging words. A child who listened closely could one day become a skilled hunter, a gatherer, or a protector of the tribe. This sharing of wisdom meant that even as individuals perished, the tribe as a whole grew stronger. More than tools, clothing, or fire, what truly sustained them was unity. They learned that isolation was death, but together they could face hunger, predators, and storms. Around the fire, they not only survived, they began to dream. They painted with earth pigments on stone, carved symbols, and spoke of spirits in the sky and earth. These first sparks of culture hinted at something greater than survival: the birth of humanity's spirit. The harsh world of a million years ago demanded resilience, and early humans gave it in abundance. Their courage, cooperation, and curiosity were the foundations of everything that would come after. Against all odds, they not only lived, they began to thrive, carrying forward the spirit of survival that still lives within us today.